Hi, welcome to this human anatomy quiz. To make it a little bit more simple, I've broken it down into the 11 major organ systems of the body, and there's 10 multiple choice questions for each subject. So if you're ready, let's begin with the skeletal system. Which of the following is not a type of bone found in the human body? Long, short, or thick? And there is no thick bone. Which type of joint allows for the greatest range of motion? A hinge, ball and socket, or pivot? And the correct answer there, ball and socket. The adult skeletal system is made up of how many bones? Approximately 106, 206, or 306. And there are approximately 206. The small round bones found in tendons are called what? Sesamoids, phalanges, or carpals? And they are sesamoids. Which of the following is not part of the axial skeleton? The pelvis, ribs, or skull? And the one there that's not part of it, the pelvis. Which type of bone cell is responsible for breaking down and reabsorbing bone tissue? Chondrocytes, osteocytes, or osteoclasts? And the correct answer, osteoclasts. Which bone in the human body is commonly referred to as the collarbone? The scapula, clavicle, or sternum? And it is the clavicle. The joints between the skull bones are called what? Are they synovial joints, cartilaginous joints, or sutures? And the correct answer is, they're sutures. Which bone is also known as the kneecap? The patella, scapula, or fibula? And the correct answer, the patella. Which bone is responsible for protecting the spinal cord? Rib, sternum, or vertebra? And the correct answer, vertebra. Okay, so next up we have the muscular system. Which type of muscle is voluntary and under conscious control? Cardiac, smooth, or skeletal muscle? And the correct answer there, skeletal muscle. The main energy source for muscle contractions is what? ATP, oxygen, or glucose? And the answer, ATP. What is the name of the connective tissue that attaches muscle to bone? Ligament, tendon, or cartilage? And it is tendon. Which type of muscle is responsible for moving food through the digestive tract? Rough, spongy, or smooth? And the answer is smooth. Which of the following is not a function of muscles? Generating heat, maintaining posture, or producing insulin? And they don't produce insulin. Which type of muscle fibre is best suited for endurance activities, such as long distance running? Type 1, 2A, or 3? And the correct answer, type 1. Which type of muscle contraction occurs when the muscle lengthens during tension? Isometric, concentric, or eccentric? And the correct answer, eccentric. Which of the following muscle groups is responsible for bending the elbow? The biceps, quadriceps, or triceps? And it is the biceps. Which of the following muscle groups is responsible for flexing the knee? Quadriceps, glutes, or hamstrings? And for that one, the hamstrings. Which of the following is the primary function of smooth muscle tissue? Pumping blood, involuntary movement, or producing heat? And the correct answer there, involuntary movement. I hope you're doing well so far. Let's see how well you do on the next one. It's the integumentary system. Which layer of skin is responsible for producing new skin cells? The dermis, hypodermis, or epidermis? And the answer we're looking for there, the epidermis. Which type of sweat gland is responsible for producing sweat with an odour? Eccrine, sebaceous, or apocrine? And the correct answer there, apocrine. Which of the following is responsible for giving hair its colour? The hair follicle, melanin, or hair bulb? And the correct answer is melanin. Which layer of skin contains blood vessels, nerve endings, and hair follicles? The dermis, hypodermis, or epidermis? And those are in the dermis. What is the scientific name for the oil that's produced in the sebaceous glands in the skin? Sebum, melanin, or keratin? And the correct answer, sebum. Which of the following is a common skin condition that results from inflammation of the sebaceous glands? Psoriasis, eczema, or acne? And the answer is acne. What is the primary function of the integumentary system? Is it to produce movement, absorb nutrients, or to protect the body from injury and infection? And it's to protect the body from injury and infection. What is the dead skin layer found only on the palms and soles of the feet? Is it the hypodermis, stratum lucidum, or cuticle? And it is the stratum lucidum. What is the short, very fine hair that covers the majority of the body? Is it terminal, androgenic, or vellus hair? And it is vellus hair. Which of the following is responsible for producing earwax? Is it apocrine, ceruminous, or sweat glands? And the correct answer, ceruminous glands. Now don't get nervous about these next questions, it is the nervous system. Which of the following is not a primary function of the nervous system? Sensory input, movement of the body, or homeostasis? And the one that's not a primary function is movement of the body. Which part of the brain is responsible for regulating vital functions such as breathing and heart rate? Cerebrum, cerebellum, or brainstem? And the correct answer, the brainstem. What is the part of the neuron that receives information from other neurons and sensory receptors? Dendrite, soma, or axon? And the correct answer is dendrite. Which type of neuron is responsible for transmitting information from the central nervous system to the muscles or glands? Is it sensory, closed, or motor neurons? And the correct answer, motor neurons. Which is a common neurotransmitter that is responsible for regulating mood, appetite, and sleep? Serotonin, insulin, or dopamine? And the correct answer, serotonin. Which part of the brain is responsible for processing visual information? Is it the parietal, frontal, or occipital lobe? And it is the occipital lobe. What is a common neurotransmitter that is responsible for muscle contraction and movement? Is it dopamine, acetylcholine, or adrenaline? And the answer there, acetylcholine. Which part of the brain is responsible for regulating emotions, decision making, and social behaviour? The frontal, parietal, or temporal lobe? And the answer for that one, the frontal lobe. And which part of the brain is responsible for auditory information? The parietal, frontal or temporal lobe? And the correct answer, the temporal lobe. And which part of the brain is responsible for coordinating movement, balance and posture? The thalamus, cerebellum or brainstem? And that one is the cerebellum. If you're enjoying the quiz so far, please give it a thumbs up. And next up is the endocrine system. Which gland is responsible for producing the hormone insulin? The thyroid, pituitary or pancreas? And the answer, the pancreas. What type of hormone is cortisol? Is it a steroid, peptide or protein hormone? And it is a steroid hormone. Which hormone is responsible for regulating calcium levels in the blood? Parathyroid hormone, glucagon or insulin? And the correct one there, parathyroid. Where are the adrenal glands located? On the bottom of the liver, base of the brain or top of the kidneys? And they are at the top of the kidneys. Which hormone is responsible for stimulating contractions of the uterus during childbirth? Estrogen, testosterone or oxytocin? And in case you were wondering, that's the British spelling of estrogen. I thought I'd throw it in just for a change. The correct answer there, oxytocin. Which hormone is responsible for stimulating the production of red blood cells in the bone marrow? Thyroxine, erythropoietin or insulin? And the correct answer, erythropoietin. What shape is the thyroid gland? A triangle, oval or butterfly shaped? And it is butterfly shaped. Which gland is responsible for producing the hormone, human growth hormone? Is it the pineal, pituitary or adrenal gland? And the answer, the pituitary. The main function of the pineal gland is to regulate what? The circadian cycle, blood sugar or body weight? And it is to regulate the circadian cycle. Which of these hormones raises blood sugar levels? Insulin, melatonin or glucagon? And the answer you're looking for there is glucagon. Okay, let's move on to the cardiovascular system. What is the primary function of the cardiovascular system? Is it to regulate body temperature, body functions, or to transport oxygen and nutrients to the cells? And it is transport oxygen and nutrients to cells. Which type of blood vessel carries blood away from the heart? Capillary, vein, or artery? And if you're American, I'm sorry, that's just how we say capillary in the UK. The correct answer, artery. Which type of blood vessel is responsible for exchanging nutrients and waste products with cells? Vein, capillary or artery? And the correct answer, capillary. Which chamber of the heart is responsible for receiving oxygenated blood from the lungs? The right atrium, left atrium or right ventricle? And it is the left atrium. Which valve is located between the left atrium and the left ventricle? Is it the pulmonary, tricuspid or mitral valve? And the correct answer, the mitral valve. Which chamber of the heart is responsible for pumping oxygenated blood to the body? The right atrium, left atrium or left ventricle? And that is the left ventricle. What is the name of the largest artery in the body? Is it the aorta, pulmonary or coronary artery? And it is the aorta. Which of the following is a condition characterised by the build-up of fatty deposits in the arteries? Hypertension, arrhythmia, or atherosclerosis? And the answer is atherosclerosis. What is a slower than normal heart rate called? Tachycardia, bradycardia, or arrhythmia? And the answer, bradycardia. Which type of blood cell is responsible for carrying oxygen to the body's tissues? White, platelet, or red? And the correct answer, red. Okay, now let's have a look at the lymphatic system. What is the primary function of the lymphatic system? Is it to regulate body fat, transport hormones to cells, or to maintain fluid balance and immune function? And it is to maintain fluid balance and immune function. What is the name of the fluid that circulates through the lymphatic system? Is it plasma, spinal fluid, or lymph? And it is lymph. What type of blood cells are lymphocytes? Are they white, platelet, or red? And they are white. Which is not one of the two primary types of lymphocytes? B, T, or D cells? And the one that's not is D cells. What is the name of the small bean-shaped organs that filter lymph and trap foreign particles and cells? Is it roids, lymph nodes, or lymphatic ducts? And the answer, lymph nodes. Where does lymph eventually drain to? Into the bloodstream, sweat glands, or the urethra? And it drains into the bloodstream. What is the largest lymphatic organ in the body? The liver, lungs, or spleen? And it is the spleen. So, where is the spleen located? Position A, B, or C? And it is position C. What is the name of the lymphatic tissue located in the small intestine? Is it Peyer's patches, bronchi, or adenoids? And the answer, Peyer's patches. What is the name of the lymphatic tissue located in the back of the throat? Is it epiglottis, tonsils, or trachea? And the correct answer, tonsils. Okay, take a deep breath because here comes the respiratory system. What is the muscle that separates the chest cavity from the abdominal cavity and plays a key role in breathing? Pectoralis major, external oblique, or diaphragm? And the correct answer, the diaphragm. What is the name of the tiny air sacs in the lungs where gas exchange occurs? Is it alveoli, venules, or bronchioles? And the answer there, alveoli. Which is a condition characterised by the destruction of the walls of the alveoli? Bronchitis, pneumonia, or emphysema? And the correct answer, emphysema. What is the average adult, female and male lung capacity? 1 and 2 litres, 4 and 6 litres, or 10 and 15 litres? And the correct answer, 4 litres and 6 litres. Approximately what percentage of exhaled air is carbon dioxide? 4, 50, or 99%? And it's only 4%. What is another name for the windpipe? Is it the esophagus, bronchus, or trachea? And it is the trachea. When eating, what prevents food from entering the trachea? The tongue, epiglottis, or pectoralis major? And it is the epiglottis. Name the narrow vertical wall of bone and cartilage that separates the nasal cavity. Sinus, philtrum or septum. And it is the septum. Name the hair-like structures in the nasal cavity that help to filter the air. Are they villi, cilia or flagella? And they are cilia. Which of the following is an abnormal buildup of fluid in the lungs? Is it a pulmonary edema, fibrosis or embolism? And it is a pulmonary edema. Is it nearly time for lunch? Because next up we have the digestive system. What is the first step in the process of digestion? Is it absorption, elimination or ingestion? And it is ingestion. Which organ produces bile to aid the digestion? The pancreas, liver or gallbladder? And it's produced in the liver. Name the enzyme that's made in the stomach to break down proteins in food. Is it proteolin, chyme or pepsin? And it is pepsin. Which of the following is the primary site for nutrient absorption in the digestive system? The small intestine, large intestine or stomach? And it is the small intestine. What is the function of the pancreas in the digestive system? Stores bile, waste elimination, or secretes digestive enzymes? And it secretes digestive enzymes, which helps increase the surface area for nutrient absorption in the small intestine. Amylase, villi, or polyps? And the answer there, villi. Which hormone stimulates the release of bile from the gallbladder? Gastrin, CCK or insulin? And the answer is CCK. Which of the following substances is primarily absorbed in the large intestine? Water, protein or fibre? And the correct answer is water. Which hormone stimulates hunger and increases food intake? Serotonin, melatonin or ghrelin? And the correct answer, ghrelin. What term describes the collection of microorganisms residing in the digestive system? Probiotics, gut microbiome or pathogens? And the correct answer, the gut microbiome. Okay, we're getting close to the end now. Here's the urinary system. Which organ's main function is to clean the blood of toxins and transform the waste into urine? The bladder, gallbladder or kidneys? And the correct one is the kidneys. Which of the following is a waste product excreted by the kidneys? Mucus, urea or serum? The answer there, urea. What is the name of the tube that carries urine from the kidney to the bladder? Is it the uvula, ulna or ureter? And the correct answer, the ureter. What is the process by which urine is expelled from the bladder? Is it micturition, filtration or secretion? And the answer, micturition. What is the medical term for the presence of blood in the urine? Is it glycosuria, hematuria or proteinuria? And the answer, hematuria. Which of the following is responsible for the filtering of blood in the kidneys? Is it the renal cortex, adrenal gland or nephrons? And the correct answer, nephrons. What is the name of the condition characterised by the inability to control urination? Urinary incontinence, polyuria, or renal failure? And the answer, urinary incontinence. Which is secreted by the kidneys to increase blood pressure? Renin, sucrase, or urea? And the answer, renin. What happens to the colour of urine when dehydrated? Nothing, it gets lighter or it gets darker. And the correct answer, it gets darker. What is the hormone the kidneys make to stimulate the production of red blood cells? Is it erythropoietin, progesterone, or cortisol? And the correct answer, erythropoietin. And finally, we have the reproductive system. What is the monthly release of an egg from the ovary called? Menstruation, ovulation, or implantation? And it is ovulation. What sex chromosomes do biological females usually have? YY, XY, or XX? And they are usually XX. So what sex chromosomes do biological males usually have? YXY, XY, or YY? And they are usually XY. Which of the following is the usual site of fertilization in the female reproductive system? The uterus, ovaries, or fallopian tubes? And the answer, the fallopian tubes. What is the function of the prostate gland in the male reproductive system? The production of sperm, testosterone, or the secretion of seminal fluid? And it is the secretion of seminal fluid. What is another name for a fertilized egg? A zygote, leukocyte, or neuron? And the answer, zygote. Name the hormone responsible for stimulating milk production in the mammary glands. Oxytocin, progesterone, or prolactin? And the answer, prolactin. Which parent's chromosome determines the gender of the baby? It can be either the mother's or the father's. And it is the father's. Which of the following is the organ where the developing fetus grows during pregnancy? The cervix, uterus, or placenta? And the answer, the uterus. Which of these hormones is responsible for the development of male secondary sexual characteristics? Estrogen, progesterone, or testosterone? And the correct answer, testosterone. Okay, let me know how you got on, drop your score in the comments down below, and I have another 5 human body quizzes. Check out this playlist here. Thanks for watching.